Hello everybody. I'm changing things up a little bit today. I'm going to do this video without looking at you, my normal position at my table. I was watching Simon over at Hermit's Cave, and he challenged us all to do a video response, a tag, which he called My 2020 Vision, in which he's using 5 cards to kind of give a forecast for the year, and I really like that. This is the time, as he mentioned, where we do start to think towards next year as we're coming to the end of this one. And most of us, many of us, I should say, myself included, do yearly spreads, which I have been following mine from last year all along, and I probably will do it as well. This won't be my only one. But I really wanted to give a go and try to do a tag for next year using this deck. This is the Deviant Moon Tarot, which for some reason, I'm not sure what the reason is, but for some reason, I have completely had a 100% turnaround with this deck. When I first saw it, of course, I think I probably saw it on his channel. I was, of course, very fascinated by the illustrations. They're in Patrick Valenza. He's really an artist that I truly enjoy. Some of the illustrations I thought were, they bordered on, horrendous depictions of some of the cards, I thought. But I really grew to love them. I really grew to appreciate the beauty of them. But I didn't like the way the deck read when I first got it. I read it. It was interesting, but I tried to follow along in the little book that's inside. It's a very small book, with abbreviated meanings, and I tried to follow along a little bit, and I have to say, I wasn't real in love. I wasn't really in love. But I did use the deck like I did for a month. I think when I first got it, I always give every deck at least a month. I try to work with a deck at least 1 month, to give it a chance. And I had some friends who really were in love with the deck. So I, carried it around from time to time. Well, for some reason, I got the deck out this year. I think back in September, I got it out because as we were approaching the dark part of the year, I wanted to use it for shadow work. I thought it might be a good deck to use for shadow work, and I found it just exceptional for that purpose. And so I thought it would be interesting to do one of my readings for next year, one of my forecasts for next year, using the Deviant Moon, and then of course compare that one with the forecast that I did last year, in January of this year, or December of last year, I guess it was. I did the reading that I used for my bullet journal when I began my bullet journal. This is my bullet journal from the beginning of the year, where I got my theme for the year of Evolve coming from the Death card, which was my card. And then, of course, I did a Wheel of the Year spread, pulling, and I was using the Wildwood Tarot for this reading. I really loved the idea of using that deck for the reading for the year. I probably will go back and use that one again, I'm not sure, for 2020. But in the meantime, I thought it would be fun to try this spread that Simon offered, and especially thought it would be interesting to use the spread Simon offered using the deck that I really believe he was the one that introduced me to this deck in the first place. So, that being said, I've already drawn my cards here, and we have these 5 cards, and we number them 1, 2, 3, 4, and this is the final card. And this first card, he identifies as the lessons from 2019 that we can take forward. And I got, as you can see here, the 6 of Wands. And it's really a beautiful card. Can you see that? I'm not sure. It's kind of dark today and cloudy, a little bit overcast. So I'm in the house here with lights, and I don't want to make a glare. I don't know if that makes a glare or not. But it's really a beautiful card. If you recall the Six of Wands in the Rider-Waite Tarot, it's about, I think there's a gentleman on a horse with a laurel wreath around his head, being recognized for his achievements. I think that's what having accomplishment, taking pride in the accomplishments that you have, and taking recognition. And it talks that you still have a way to go, but it's a period of time where you have accomplished some certain things. And if I look at 2019, what can I take forward from that? What kind of you don't want to take forward anything that you don't want to be resting on those laurels, as we say. When I look at my accomplishments in 2019, I don't really see a great many accomplishments. I mean, I don't have anything that I'm not proud of, but I didn't know, nothing big really happened in my life. But when I'm looking in this card, in this deck, and what this deck has to say to me, this deck talks about a change. It talks about a change that has occurred. And I find that so interesting, particularly when my card for last year, or this year in 2019, it says, in 2019, I will evolve. I will evolve. Death is the change. Something happens. It's the end of something, the beginning of another. And this deck is telling me that I have emerged over the year even better than I was when I started out. And what was that change? What was the change? Well, in here it talks about the change has been the ability to change where I needed to, and the ability that I have acquired to adapt to new situations. And boy, I think that's really the truth. I'm looking through my year and my bullet journal, particularly, and my journaling, and some of the highlights of my year. And I did have to really make some changes. I felt that all year long. Would I normally reacted to a certain situation, trying to react in a different way, perhaps, trying to adapt to things, trying to be a little more calm, a little more in the moment, learning how to withdraw if I needed to withdraw, knowing when I had to press forward, when I need to press forward. So the ability to change myself and my reaction when what's needed, I think, was a big one for me. I'm a Cancer, triple Cancer. I talk about being a triple Cancer. So I react in an emotional way. I always have an emotional reaction. Sometimes it's too emotional, but people who know me well know that there's usually a time where I might blow up, and then I'm okay after I've had a chance to get that out of me. It works with people that you know. Doesn't work so good with people you don't know. So it sort of puts me in a state of isolation sometimes. So I've been working on that and my reaction and trying to be more calm, trying to say what's my business and what's none of my business, those kind of things. So that change I am definitely taking forward from 2019. Exactly what the card says. I'm a better person because of my ability to know how to change when I need to, has improved, and also how my ability to adapt to new situations has improved. I'm not there yet. I still have a way to go, but I'm on the track. So that came out really nice to me. Okay, card number 2. What challenges or obstacles do I have to face in 2020? Well, this is interesting, coming from the Hermit. The Hermit card. I don't know if you can see. It's kind of a little freakier than the Hermit card you might be used to looking at. But I love this because he's hiding. He has got his hands up like he's hiding, but peeking through his fingers, so he's not really hidden. He's not really hiding. He's naked. He's not trying to really hide anything. But he's withdrawing. He's in the fetal position, withdrawing. Closing himself up, but still very much in view. Which I really like this because in this card, well, first of all, in the Rider-Waite version, we see the Hermit perched at the top of the hill, looking down, using his light to look down at the world behind him, contemplating when he should return to that world. And I think the depiction in this deck, so that infers that the Hermit in the Rider-Waite version is retreating into a place of privacy, retreating into a period of a sense of introspection, right? Being away from things. In this deck, I see it a little differently. In this deck, I'm looking and seeing perhaps he's kind of shutting himself off, but he's never alone. He's not really hiding, is he? He doesn't seem to be hiding. And this makes a reference to this fish here on the ground here beside him. This rotting fish is symbolizing that he cannot hide from himself. Okay, he's never alone because the fish reminds him that he can never hide from himself. But also, this card implies that even if we can't see people looking at us, or if we see people around us, we are part of a community, and our actions affect other people. And I think this is a big thing I have learned in this holding back that I have done in 2019, in some of the places that I have done where I might have retreated back into myself, which I have done, for purposes of trying to improve myself or trying to make decisions, whatever. I have affected other people without meaning to. I've hurt other people. I've pulled away from other people and not meant to, but that kind of happens. You know, you get an invitation to go somewhere and you think, oh no, I just need to be by myself this weekend. If you do that enough times, the invitations are going to stop. The invitations are not going to come anymore because it feels to others around you that you're not retreating into yourself, you're retreating away from them. I think we've all had that experience where we have felt that from our friends or our family members around us. So a challenge or obstacle for me for 2020 is to know and to realize how my actions affect other people. When I was maybe a little more perpetuous, when I was a little younger, and a little bit actually before last year, my mode of behavior really was, to react. I reacted with fear. I reacted with anger. I would make, I'm the kind of person who makes a joke, instead of criticizing somebody outright, I'll try to be funny. Make a little joke. Try to make light of it. Well, that's not always received very well. Sometimes that can be downright rude, and I don't really mean to be rude, but that's just the habit that I've been into, reacting with a little funny remark. Without paying too much attention to what it is that others around me are taking from that situation. How am I affecting other people? So I need to keep peering through that hand. I need to keep this eye open that is peering through this hand, and keep a look at others and making sure that I have others in mind when I'm doing something for myself, which yes, it's important to have me time and to do things for yourself and not to sacrifice yourself to other people, which can just build resentment. But I have to remember when I retreat how that affects others. Everything I do affects others, whether I can see them or not. So, okay, this is card 3 in this corner down here. And this is, what will I have to focus on to overcome these obstacles? What is my focus? And here we have the Nine of Wands. And the Nine of Wands always implies some kind of obstacles around you, but you having the resources necessary to overcome them. Because we can see, like in the Nine of Wands, in the Rider-Waite version, we know very well that there is a way to, there is a way out. There is a way out of the situation. That nothing, we can overcome whatever our challenge is. It's possible if we just maybe look at it from a different view. Remove the blindfold, so to speak. That we have what we have inside us, the resources we have inside us necessary to overcome anything. Okay, so I need to, the focus, I need to stop, and when I do encounter issues, this card is telling me that I need to stop and focus and think about it rather than just knocking them down. Think about it, allow yourself time, allowing myself time to adapt and to change the strategy as necessary. Okay, still going back to this period of waiting before I act. Thinking before I leap, taking that thought before I make the leap. Okay, somebody who is as emotionally charged as I am, thinking before, I gotta get out of my head sometimes. I gotta be a little more practical. I can't just be, well, it should be this way. It should be this way, Oh, who's doing that? Who's doing that? Excuse my dogs. They're being very good and very quiet in here. But they're, I'm trying to see. There we go. Can you see? You can. Okay. Anyway, the Nine of Wands. I need to remember to stop and ponder when I receive a challenge rather than just to react. Rather than just react or plow through the obstacle. Give myself time to adapt to the change. Give myself time to change strategies. Not just to react emotionally. Not just to withdraw or not just to plow through or not just to, to cry or to whatever. But to think about it. Think about what I need to do and think about other people, just like it says. Think about other people around me, the community around me. What is going to happen to other people? Be responsible with my decision and how it affects other people. Okay? Okay, what opportunities, number 4, card 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, what opportunities will be available to me in 2020? And here we have the Ace of Cups, wonderful card. She's beautiful too. Look at this beautiful angel. Very colorful, very beautiful. Here's her wing. Receiving inspiration here from the moon. Connecting to the moon, the triple moon. That's me, triple Cancer. This card it speaks about opening yourself up and giving and receiving unconditional love. Ace of Cups. It's all about those emotions, that emotion of love or the emotion of giving or the emotion of being generous. We can see the water flowing out through the cup in the Rider-Waite version. And again, this card is talking about giving, not taking, giving. The moon is giving. She's gazing into this cup. She's pouring what she has into this cup. It's about abundant pleasure. It's a card about abundant pleasure. It's a card about fullness of spirit. But the message from this card is very clear. The more you give, the more you receive. And I love this, particularly coming on the heels of talking about the community, being responsible for the community, being aware of the people around you, and giving, instead of taking from others, giving to others. And I love this so much. This came to me as a lovely thought. I don't know if some of you have remembered, I did a video several years ago when we still had, I think it was around the end of our business when my husband and I had a business for about 6 years, 6 years or so, 6 or 7 years. Which started out very well, and it was successful, but we had a turn, and at the end we had to close the business. And how that affected us, of course, financially, affected us emotionally, of course, but what made us, we were fine, we came through it okay, but what affected us the most, what was the hardest, I spoke in a video that I did during that period of time, how hard it was to be in a position not to be able to give. You don't realize how important it is to give until you're in a position where you can't. And I think you understand that if any of you celebrate, like, any of the winter holidays, Christmas or Hanukkah or whatever, the experience, the American experience anyway is very materialistic in a lot of ways. It's a lot about giving gifts, and for some people it's about receiving gifts, but for most of us it hopefully is about really the joy of giving to people that we love. Sometimes we give them too many things. But just how fun that is to have a secret and to buy something for somebody or make something for somebody and wrap it up and hold it as a secret and then finally present it to them at the end. It's just a wonderful feeling. And when you're not able to do that, when you don't have the money to do it or the resources to do it, that's when you really miss it. You sort of take for granted that kind of a feeling. Or, have a really low bank account sometime and then take a drive or take a walk everywhere you see people in need. You see people in need everywhere, and it's like, I don't have anything to give. I wish. That's when you really feel you want to give to people. How hard it is to see this, people that are a lot worse off than you, and not be able to ease their burden. Not be able to do anything to ease their burden. So, this Ace of Cups I take very strongly here, and I'm going to take that to heart for 2020. The more you give, the more you will receive. I believe that 100 times, and it's going to be a year of giving for me, for absolute sure. I'm going to really try to step outside myself, and do what I can for others. Both people that I know and people that I don't know. Finally, I have card 5. What will be the overall theme, my overall theme for 2020? And I love this so much. The card here comes up, the 4 of Swords. And it talks about resting, and there she is. I can see you. I think you can see. She's underground. She's in her bed under the ground. And she is having her rest. And she is waiting. She's resting before she takes the next challenge. She's recharging her energy before the next phase, before she's ready to go. That period of rest before the battle, or rest before the new job or whatever. It is a time to gain perspective, again, to step back before the next phase and gain perspective, to build up your mental strength, getting rid of the clutter or stress in your life, which I just did a lot this year. I've got a lot more to go in 2020. More things I have to worry about, the more things I have to worry about. The fewer things I have to worry about, the fewer things I have to worry about. It's simple math. It's simple math, and I think we tend to all take on too much. And this is a really good time for me to step back. What is important? Get rid of the clutter. I get rid of the clutter. I'll get rid of a lot of stress. And I'm wholeheartedly carrying that with me into 2020. I'll have to say, but also, it also talks about resting, retreating, and when you retreat, it's time to return. Knowing when you're done retreating, when it's time to rest, when it's time to return. The Hermit knows when he's going to stay away, when it's time to come back, right? Here we have the Nine of Wands. Allow yourself time to make a change, to develop a change when you should think about it, change, get up a strategy, and then go. And then go. Face your challenge, whatever it is. So these are all talking about the same kind of thing. And I find it very, very interesting because if I follow the same method that we used in 2019 to get my word of the year, to get my theme for the year, using the death card, we were evolving. I think next year, my spread for the year, my word for the year, my card for the year next year is going to be Temperance, I believe. And that card is all about moderation and all about balance and allowing life forces to flow through you without, without resistance, to manage emotions, to accommodate all perspectives, to accommodate, to know when to retreat, when to return. So I'm getting the same kind of a message here that I will expect to get from my my card of the year, my what did we call that? Yeah, the Wheel of the Year tarot spread, which I will be doing probably. I'll do that sometime in December, I'm sure. So I'm going to file this away and see how this compares. But anyway, that was the spread. Thank you very much, Simon, for sharing it with us. I found it very interesting, very fun to do. Simon invites anybody who would like to share in this challenge to use the tag hashtag my 2020 vision and make your own video of your own reading if you'd like to. I invite you to watch the original Simon's video. I will share a link with that. I will share a link with that so that you can. And that was it. I feel really awkward not being able to see you, even though I know I can't see you, but I feel when I'm facing the camera that I am kind of talking to you in person. That's a little weird for me. But anyway, it was fun to do. So thank you for watching. As always, I am Rebecca, and I wish you blessings.